Well, good morning. We're here at the RISC-V Pavilion Booth at Embedded World 2019 in the GreenWaves stand with Martin.
Good morning, Rick.
Martin. And you've got some really cool stuff. What's this GAP8 processor we've heard all about?
So GAP8 is a processor that's RISC-V based, and it's focused on bringing embedded intelligence to battery-operated devices.
So low power.
Very low power, but it's a little bit more than that, because when you start running on a battery, you need to think not only about the low power when you're calculating, but also the low power when you're standing by, and also the speed with which you switch between those different states.
So when you're bringing a new processor to market, the development environment obviously is brand new for everybody. How do you solve that problem and make it easy for someone to develop on your platform?
Well, one of the benefits is that we're using RISC-V, and that gives us access to a tool chain that's already there and to a lot of partners that are producing tools for RISC-V. And obviously then we have to extend on that. But that does mean that the investment we're making is starting from a base state where we have our load of tools already done. So all of our money can be spent on the extra engineering that's really specific to our platform.
So along those lines, you used an open source core in your design.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that experience, about the core and
Okay.
specifically that experience?
Okay, so the core actually comes out of a project called PULP, which stands for Parallel Ultra-Low Power, which is a project which comes out of ETH Zurich and the University of Bologna. Our CTO was heavily involved in that project from its inception. And really that gives us a source of very high quality tested IP that's come out in test chips over a 5-year period. And then we can just then again focus just on our extra engineering work to add our market vision and take that and engineer it into a final chip.
So the product exists, you've got real silicon, and you've got it mounted in this cool little drone you got over here, right?
Yeah, so this is a little micro drone, nano drone in fact. It's a class of drone which is a few grams in weight. It has GAP8 mounted here. One of the benefits of GAP8 in this kind of design, usually we're looking at the battery side of this. In fact, in a drone, the motors actually use most of the battery power.
Sure.
In this drone, actually the size of the solution in terms of the chip and the chips around it means that it's very light. And actually this drone has very little payload. It can't carry much. So here GAP8 is actually being used with a camera that's on the front of the drone. And this allows the drone to actually autonomously navigate.
Nice.
So it can follow a path. Yeah. There's a convolutional neural network that's running inside
Nice.
GAP8 that's actually interpreting what it's seeing and then converting that into a set of steering directions, go left, go right, and a percentage of probability of collision. Nice. So stop.
Yeah. Awesome. Very cool. Okay, well, thank you. Have
Thank
a great
you.
show.
Thanks, Rick.